What's up? It's Tom. Appreciate you being here. We're going to talk about these three guys and look at some minor league highlights in just a moment. But first, while the Twins were off today, I want to run through some of the standings since this is a playoff race. This is going to be really fun, especially since things are tightening up in the AL Central again. Cleveland now down to 2 games with the advantage in the division over both Kansas City and the Twins. They lost tonight. Twins were off again. Kansas City also didn't play tonight. But there is the picture in the division, and then from the zooming out and taking a look at the wild card. Right now, both the Royals and Twins are in the wild card. Boston, who is also off today, out by 3.5 games. Tampa Bay 7 out, they're out of it basically, and then Seattle actually just fired their manager. So it's kind of a situation where it feels like Boston's really the only threat to potentially knock out a team that's currently in a spot. So Twins sitting fairly good, definitely maintaining while dealing with quite a few injuries. So that's really great, great feeling. And within striking distance of Cleveland, who's looking a lot more human of late, a lot more like maybe they're not going to have this magical season potentially. So still, again, a lot of ball to play, but that is the picture. Figured we'd update the race. But let's get into the minor league highlights. Still plenty of talk about the action from tonight. Starting with the Cedar Rapids Colonels and Kaelen Culpepper. I want to show you some defensive highlights of him making a nice diving catch to end this inning. And then this was beautiful, going up the middle, twirling and getting a good throw, a good, strong, on-target throw to first base. This guy is a much better shortstop than I was expecting. I'm impressed. Was not quite able to make this play in the 8th inning, tie game in the 8th inning. I'm sure he's kicking himself about that one, but that would have been a great play. Scored a hit, of course. Speaking of hits, he had an opposite field single in this one as well, did Kaelen Culpepper, so a really nice game for him. Great to see him up in Cedar Rapids and contributing to that team on both sides of the ball. Walker Jenkins had a nice night, too. He was the DH, but he gets one by the first baseman here to score a couple runs with 2 outs. Talk a lot about him going the other way, but he had a couple pulled hits tonight. This one off a lefty, kind of left a breaking ball up. And then Gabriel Gonzalez drove in both Culpepper and Jenkins on this one. A little bobble there in the outfield. Jenkins comes around all the way from first base. So great to see, even though he's not always playing center field, not always DHing a good amount, he still looks like he's running pretty well. Over to St. Paul, DaShawn Keirsey Jr. Is back on it again. And man, again, with all those injuries on the Twins, I get that there's so many left-handed hitting outfielders still, but I would love to see this guy get a shot. Hit his 14th home run of the year, as you see there, off a lefty. A lot of these highlights are him hitting against a lefty. There's another hit. He had a 4-hit night, did DaShawn Keirsey Jr. Stole his 30th base of the season. Looked like he was going to get picked off, but kind of lucked out that the throw from the first baseman over to second was off target. So, he'll get credit for that one. That was his 30th steal of the year. 847 OPS on the year, an 800 OPS versus left-handed pitching, a 1021 OPS now in August after this massive 4-hit game that he had. And again, battling with 2 strikes against a lefty, fouling off pitches, barely checks his swing here. Oh, it was close. It was very close. But called a ball and then gets another single up the middle. So just hanging tough in there. And again, this guy plays center field, can cover some ground, plays good center field out there. And also we get a challenge too. I forgot about this one. It called a strike 3. He challenges in it. Great challenge. It was a ball. So that's a ball 3 instead of strike 3. Follows that up with a triple. So a huge game in which he goes 4 for 4 with a triple and a home run and a stolen base. Did DaShawn Keirsey Jr. So he's really showing it all for the Saints right now. Love seeing it. We're going to talk a little bit more about his history in just a moment here when we go through the numbers. But we're also going to talk about Travis Adams a bunch too and look at some of his numbers. He was awesome tonight. 6 shutout innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. So 6 shutout innings of 1-hit ball, only walked 1 guy. He did hit a couple other guys. Threw a wild pitch too, so there was some effective wildness in there as well, but 10 strikeouts for Travis Adams. This month, he has a 0.87 ERA, 0.53 whip, 25 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. So he is probably going to be the Twins minor league pitcher of the month, I'd imagine, for August. I know there's some other guys throwing well, but I can't imagine anybody can top that. But here's how this one ended, or part of how it ended. Man on third base, nobody out for Midland. They go for it. They take a chance, and Jeferson Morales makes the catch and throws him out at the plate for a double play with Andrew Cassetti. Morales also hit a home run and scored 3 of Wichita's runs, and Cassetti drove in the go-ahead run in the top of the 11th. So great to see there. Wichita had held a lead entering the 9th inning, gave it up, but wanted an extras. Good recovery there. Again, Keirsey was 4 for 4, huge game. Jefferson Morales, who made that great throw, 3-hit game, including his 9th home run. Walker Jenkins had a multi-hit night. Just want to talk a little bit more about DaShawn Keirsey Jr. and just kind of give a tip of the cap. And this is maybe why I'm really pulling for this guy, is because he was a 4th-round pick back in 2018, so it's not like this is some guy who came out of nowhere, but his stock could not have really been lower. In 2019, it was just terrible. A 436 OPS, and then, of course, COVID happened, so he has to wait forever to get an opportunity even to put that behind him. Does much better in 2021, but still really doesn't show what he can do. Things start to kind of fall in line with him in 2022 in Wichita in Double-A. That's a point at most guys' careers where that's where they stall out. That's where things don't start happening for guys, and that's the opposite for this guy, DaShawn Keirsey Jr. That was his age 25 season that he kind of finally got things rolling, and then last year is a giant breakout year, and then this year he's backing that up and showing, hey, I can do this. So this is 2 years of DaShawn Keirsey Jr. with an 820 OPS in the high minors. You see there 42 steals, 39 steals, and now 30 this year, so a guy who can swipe bases. Again, not on the 40-man roster, so that's kind of a tough thing. That's I think not helping his case to get on the Twins roster. But man, I would be nice if they could find a way. And again, he's a left-handed hitter. They have a lot of those in the outfield. I get that too, but he deserves a chance. In most other organizations, I think he would have gotten a look in the majors by now. It's tough. It's tough, but it's really fun to see him turn his career around and create this conversation at all. That's DaShawn Keirsey Jr. And then taking a look at tonight's pitching lines, Travis Adams was by far the standout guy. Look at that. How clean that looks. Just beautiful. 10 strikeouts and 6 shutout innings. Again, he's been incredible. Probably going to be the Twins pitcher of the month this month. He really looked great his first full season in 2022. I think I had him inside my Twins top 30 prospects, I want to say, at the end of that season. And then last year, I mentioned, a lot of guys seemed to hit a wall in Double-A, and it was bad. A 5.66 ERA for Travis Adams, rough, and kind of fell off the radar a bit for me. And he's another guy who had some prospect shine, a 6th-round pick in 2021. So neither of these guys are like these way, 15th-round picks or crazy stuff like that. These are guys who had profiles and the Twins really liked. But they just really hit a wall at one point in their minor league careers. Different points for both these guys, but kind of the same story. And man, is Travis Adams back. So this doesn't even include tonight's numbers, by the way. So his numbers are even better than this. So Travis Adams, really hats off to him for battling and, figuring out what was needed to be addressed over the offseason and just continuing to get better. And again, having just an insane August is Travis Adams. Awesome to see. Again, the Twins were off. No Muscles highlights. They were rained out. Their game was canceled, but the Saints and Wind Surge hold on to win some tight ball games. Unfortunately, the Colonels could not do the same. Thanks so much for checking this one out. We will talk again soon.